What's up, everybody? It's your boy D. I'm back again with another episode of The Tiger King, the craziest documentary series to come along and God since the Fire Festival, which is funny because it's the same people that did the Fire Festival. But this episode was probably the most subdued out of all of them until it got to a certain point, but I'm gonna get to that later. So at this point in this episode, we have this battle going on between Joe Exotic and Carol Baskins. They've been going back and forth. He pretty much hates this woman. I mean, they have said how much he loathes her. But the beginning of the episode talks about how the guy that did his whole internet show got him to sign some papers. And the only reason he got him to sign papers and did the internet show is so that he could do this crazy reality TV. God, lost all the words. This crazy reality TV show with him, and they had shot certain scenes for it. And the way it worked is like Joe was made for reality TV, and they were ready to go. He's sitting on the top of a throne. It's the most over the top. He's treating his employees crazily. He's firing people left and right. So it gets to this point where it's like, okay, this show is going to make me a millionaire. Joe's going to be a household name, the whole 9 yards. And what happens is that there's this fire at his studio. This is also where he does his recording studio, because if you haven't been watching, Joe has been doing like 5 or 6 albums and stuff like that. Crazy, I know. It gets wilder. So, see what I did there? At this point, they accidentally kill these crocodiles, and Joe is away on a funeral. Remember, I did that. I'll come back to that later. So because he's at this funeral and he's also away, it comes to find out that they think that he got in an argument with the producer / director of his show, and they think that Joe might have did some stuff, because they actually show him going to his lawyer, and they actually show what the other guy did. They show him on camera walking in front of the place, but it was like an incendiary. They were trying to bring the activists and Carol Baskin. So you have all this, and this case is never solved. This is a reoccurring plot throughout this entire thing. This case was never solved. This case was never solved. This case was never solved. So it's a lot of this whole, well, somebody's looking the wrong way, or they just like what's going on, or the Florida and the Oklahoma police in these particular counties are just inept or something. I don't know what's going on. But from that, Joe starts getting on Carol Baskins again. He's like, I'm going to come back and we're going to find who did this. We're going to take her down. We're going to take them down. He starts calling his company something real close to her company. He winds up getting sued. He winds up losing this case for a lot of money. And it pretty much puts him into debt to the point that he can't even make payments. And, nobody knows what Carol wants, because Carol's pockets are deep. Everybody else is telling him, just apologize to the woman, leave it alone, but his ego won't let him apologize. And it gets more and more and more. And her pockets are deep, because her husband went missing. Tongue-tied. Let me drink out of my cup. And then at the last minute, it's like the last 10 minutes of this episode, I'm like, okay, this episode is more subdued compared to like the second episode and like the murder case in the third one. This guy comes in, I think his name is Jack Love or Jack Lowe or something like that. And he's like supposed to be like this rich guy, and he's going to be this great investor for Joe, and winds up buying the zoo from Joe. And as the episode goes along, he starts doing stuff with the animals, and they got this whole underlying thing with Joe. He's like, I didn't realize what type of person this was. I didn't realize who I let into my life. And he winds up doing something to one of the animals. You actually, for the first time, like outside the mauling in the second episode, see one of the animals get ready to attack, and they spray the thing with water. So you see this guy does not treat these animals with care and respect. And this is going to lead to something really big in the 5th episode. I know it, because it's still building up to this whole Joe versus Carol thing. And Carol is trying to take all his money, and Joe is losing all his money, and he's already lost the zoo and gave it to somebody else that he thought had some money. So it just gets crazier and crazier and crazier and crazier, and I can't wait for episode 5. Comment below your favorite part of this series so far. Let me know if you're watching. If you're not watching, have no intention of it, with some stuff you are watching on Netflix. That's going to do it for me. I know that was a mouthful. I was trying to get it all out, trying something a little different. I'll holler at y'all all later. I'm out. Peace.